trip. I've done some missions with kids to Mexico, but I've never went out of the country like to Africa. So we went, and there were some technical difficulties with the van, so we had some extra time, and we went into town a couple of times into Zimbabwe, and we were walking into town, and Betsy and I and the team, and at one point I don't know if Betsy and I were just talking about it. We don't remember how the first time we saw the fire department. When we saw the fire department, we decided we want to go over and engage with these men and women and just get to know them. So we do. We go over and introduce ourselves. I introduced myself and just said, hey, I'm a fireman in the States. Would you be willing to give us a tour of your station? And they really weren't open to touring us through the station. And I think because they were a little bit embarrassed because the station is kind of run down. The people came out of every room, met us, took us outside. We got to get into their apparatus. Their main engine was out on a run at the time. I believe it was a grass fire. So they were not there, but they took us into the apparatus that they had in the parking lot. We met everyone that was working. Everyone came up and shook our hands, said hi, and we got to talk to them about being a fireman in Zimbabwe and what that looks like. Well, they only have one station, which covers all of Zimbabwe, which is a little bit nerve-wracking, I can only imagine. But what was so great was just everyone had a smile on their face, was so excited to meet us and talk to us. Well, as we're there, that engine came back from the run. So we got to meet the crew that was actually on the engine, and what was really cool was we met the first woman firefighter in Zimbabwe. I mean, she looked like she was 18 years old, but I think she was in her 20s. And Betsy, do you remember, does her name translate to Joy? Was correct? She was very nice. It was really neat to meet her and just the crew on the engine. They talked about different things that they do as firemen and some different things that they see. But through that, we built a relationship with them, and Betsy and I started talking about how can we help them, how can we support them. And I had brought some fire shirts from, I work for Whitestown Fire Department, and a typical thing for firemen is wherever you go, in the States or out of the country, is you take a shirt with you and you trade a shirt with that department. So I had brought a couple of shirts to trade. So we went back another day and I asked would they be interested in trading a shirt. And they said no, they would not, because they were embarrassed. The shirts they had were so run down. Some of them didn't even have Zimbabwe shirts on. I believe they were from Spain or something like that. Just other countries that have, other departments that have come in and given them shirts, that's what they were wearing. So Betsy and I started talking, and we decided that we wanted to support them and partner with them. And Betsy has a friend that does silk screening and embroidery, and she made 2 shirts in blue and red for them, and myself and my men's Bible study bought duty pants and boots and a belt for everyone. So there's 20 firemen on the department. We're able to send that over with Bill the next time he went, and there was of course some issues with some of it went missing, but that's okay. We overcame that, and the last time they went on this trip, Bill went and helped them purchase their boots. So they sent pictures, so it's really cool that they're all in their duty pants, duty boots, because one of the pictures we took with them, a man was in flip-flops. So he's doing his job in a pair of flip-flops because that's all he had. So of course he still shows up to do his job, and that's awesome. But so we're blessed to be able to do that with Betsy. I'm so blessed to get to know Betsy and work with Betsy to do this to help them, and so it was a huge blessing on that trip. So water purifications, just like you said, it's the people that you meet. And on this trip, it just happened to be the firemen. So it was a huge blessing for all of us.
So by the end of our time in Victoria Falls, we had been to their station 3 times. We told them what we were doing. I don't know if Greg ever told them exactly what school, but we're on our last full day at the first school. We're trying to fill our tanks. The water supply is pitiful. I mean, we would have been there. I don't even know if we would have filled it. We wanted to fill it so Bill could do the training, because he typically trains them and then he has them do a teach back on the second one. And they happen, I don't know, again, I don't know if they knew that that was the school, but they will go around to the different schools and check the tanks that the schools have. And so they happen to show up, God's timing, right? Exactly when we were trying to fill these tanks with their pumper truck, tank
Yes.
truck, whatever, full of water, and we asked them would they fill our tank. I assume if the principal had asked them, he probably would have done it. But I think they were so excited to see us there with the friendship we had made with them that they were really thrilled to be able to fill our tank and get us moving along with our training and everything else. So it was just, we spent extra days in Victoria Falls that we didn't intend to, but I too think that was, I mean, I think that was God's timing too. That He wanted us to befriend these firefighters, learn what their needs were, make friends with them, you know, and then ultimately let them help us with our ministry. It was just, I think it's amazing.